Welcome to Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I'm going to show you a video that's circulating around the universe. It is kind of offensive, especially if you're native or part native, and I want you to understand that this is unacceptable and that you need to brace yourself. So let me set up the video. There's a teacher going around like a chicken with her head cut off, doing Native American stuff. Supposedly it's a math class from the information that I have been given. I'm not going to swear to that, but this teacher, I do not want her fired. I want her educated, as I've done in my 3 TikTok videos, because I wasn't going to do a deep dive into it, but then some people in the comments pissed me off. And he claims to be part Native, but he doesn't find this offensive, because he said his grandmother or somebody was full-blooded Cherokee, which goes back to, I probably need to do another video on Cherokee being the go-to race, just in case nobody watched it. There is a video here about me saying that Cherokee is the go-to race. So, I'll bring up that after you watch this, and then I'll bring up my stitch. So, before I start talking, I did 3 parts. I'm not going to show you all 3 parts. I'm just going to show you maybe 1 or 2. So, this is the teacher. Make sure that little circle's out of the way. Here we go.
And I get all of my feathers.
Okay. There are longer videos of that happening. Okay?
On my journey to reconnecting with my roots of my Cherokee heritage, which is
I'll replay that. I just wanted to read this first comment because this comment did not piss me off that much. This guy says, I'm Kawa, and aside from her being an embarrassment to herself, it doesn't bother me. Okay, that wasn't too bad. So here's my first stitch. Let's rewind it.
On my journey to reconnecting with my roots of my Cherokee heritage, which is still a long process. This
Forgive the background
is something
noise.
that, this is part 2, by the way. This is something that not only do I find unacceptable, but despicable, disgusting, distasteful. Kudos to the student that recorded this.
Okay, that's all
This
you
is
need.
coming across everybody's FYP right now.
Alright, let me see if I can find the other one. Number 3. Okay, that doesn't have any, that's the wrong one. Okay. So, one of my friends commented on here. He says she needs to be removed from the classroom permanently, and she's not for teaching, even in kindergarten. And another person said, this honestly upsets me. Those were the good comments. Now, in one of my, okay, it was this one, I got 7. Okay, since I stopped the damn thing. Okay, so this guy, he says, first of all, it's indigenous people, not Native Americans. And why are you all triggered over everything? Alright. I'm not going to give you his name. His name is JB1997. So, okay. I got like 6 replies. And the second thing he said is that, and like a lot of all Americans, we are partial indigenous. My grandmother was full-blooded Cherokee and would not agree with you, sir. My reply, well, that's fine for her not to agree with me, but I'm not going to accept that she's doing the right. Shame on her. I'm talking about the teacher, not his grandmother. Then he goes, I'm only giving you my view, just sure that you point out someone's fault. Be educated in your response to yourself as Native Americans equally. Okay, now like I said, he's not wrong there, because everybody needs to be educated. And then he got offensive. And then correct, thank you for acknowledging we all have faults. I never said we didn't. That's the thing. Alright? However, My grandmother was also full-blooded Cherokee, and sadly to say, she wasn't too fond of people who were not of color. Okay, let me put that out there. She wasn't too fond of people who were not of color. All right, getting that out the way. One, I'm reconnecting with my Native American side, or I'm going to die trying. Henceforth, Echo Fang Grey Wolf. Two, too many things happen to natives where people, even half natives, just pass that shit by. I did not know about MMIW until this year. And this shit's been going on for years. So to Mr. BJ 1997, maybe you need to reconnect too. Okay? Just for the sake of your full-blooded Native American grandmother. Now, let me also make a correction on that. Indigenous people, yes, that is a correct thing to say. However, not all natives are indigenous to America. First Nations are indigenous to Canada. That's why they are called First Nations. American Indians, aka Native Americans, the ones I know, the ones I descended from, are native to America, which spread it all the way to Mexico before we had borders that became Mexico, which makes Mexicans officially Native Americans. They are of native descent, Aztec, Incan, Mayan, etc. Native Americans is in South America, in Central America, the Puerto Rico and Caribbeans, also Native Americans. Now, when you get down to South America, where you also have Mayans, Aztec, Incans, and Amazons, you got the top of South America all the way to the bottom of South America. All those are Native Americans, only they're South Americans. So the governments of both continents don't classify anybody from Mexico as native. They don't classify anybody that's native to South American as Native Americans for North America. They don't classify First Nations, because they belong to Canada, as Native Americans for Native Americans. Okay? They just count them as indigenous Canadians of native descent. Same thing with Alaska, only Alaska is one of the 50 states. Same thing with Hawaiians, only Hawaiians is one of the 50 states. But Hawaiians are more or less Polynesian, but they are still natives to that region. As Inuit and Eskimo are still Native Americans, but they are to Alaska and the North Pole, and sometimes they've gone as far as where Bjork is from. So, I'm not incorrect, but calling the Native Americans, I was specifically speaking of the American Indians in America. Now, as far as this teacher is concerned, that's not cool. That ain't even right. As far as Mr. BJ 1997 is concerned. He's not totally wrong. But he's closer to wrong than right for coming at me with my Native American grandmother would not allow that. And maybe she wouldn't have, because I don't know his Native American grandmother. I knew mine. Both of them. My great-grandmother really did not like white people. She worked for white people. But as far as she was concerned, she didn't have too many good feelings about them. She did once tell me when I was a child of maybe 5 or 6 that the only thing that we did was let them off the boat, and then that's where we fucked up. And she said that, in those exact words. I remember that. God rest your soul, Grandma Ada. Now, here's that thing. My family on both sides have Cherokee. My mom's side, my dad's side. My dad's side probably has more Cherokee because his grandmother was full-blooded. His mother, not sure, but definitely Cherokee. His father was black. That's it. My mama's mama is either all native or half native and adopted and raised by a black woman, my grandmother Sarah. And my mother's father was half black and half white. So I'm 1,000% mutt, without question. So on my reconnecting journey with my roots, I know some things and nothing at the same time. Because when it comes to your tribal connection, you literally have to find people of the tribe in which you possibly came from. So I'm also trying to get this blood quantum thing done so that I can apply for my Native American membership, and which by that it will be under Echo Fang Grey Wolf, because I can do that, and it won't really have too much to say about it, because that's the name I choose, because I was not born or raised on the reservation, so I can change that, and that will completely be my Native American name, and that way I can get a legal card that says that shit. That being said, any freaking how, I want you guys to think about this as a lesson in what not to do. And this young lady, this teacher, supposedly it's a math teacher, I posted a video up here a couple of weeks ago about Bugs Bunny and Tweety Bird shooting Native Americans, and Bugs Bunny wiping off the tally mark and saying, "Oh, sorry, that one was a half-breed." People came at me for that on TikTok too. So I'm going to end this video with this. Pay attention. You may learn something now from Echo Fang Grey Wolf. See, a lot of people don't understand how racism works when you're not being the race that's the victim of racism. And yeah, white people can be the victims of racism from blacks and Asians, just as if Asians and blacks can be the victims of racism from whites and each other. There's no race of human species on this planet that is above racism. Everybody knows someone who is either a racist or has been a victim of racism. I happen to be in that category of being a victim of racism all my life, for being mixed, and knowing a few racists. Now, let me explain that before you go on the sideline of that. The racists that I know, they let me know. I ain't got nothing but respect for them, because they didn't lie about that shit to my face. So I knew that if the knife was coming, straight to the face. The racist that I didn't know was racist until I got out of high school, that's a knife in the back that you don't want. If you're a racist and you're honest about it, we can still be friends. We can be co-workers. I know that I'm never coming to your house. I know that you're never going to invite me to your house. And even if we're friends at work, after knowing that you are a racist, I don't expect you to invite me to your house. Don't expect me to invite you to my house, because my family color wheel is all kinds of different colors here. So that's not going to work out for you. Being a racist, you may slip up and say the wrong thing, and the next damn thing you know, you're in the hospital from somebody that's kin to me that I didn't prepare for them to know that you were a racist. But see, if you're a racist and I know it, I got a better chance of keeping you alive by not inviting you to my house with people who may equally be racist. Okay? Now, both sides of my family chose to raise our families as black. For some odd-ass reason, I guess they thought that would be a little bit better in society, only to come to find out that it's not so much. So think about what I said. Most people do not know the ramifications of being the victim of racism unless it affects somebody that they know directly or indirectly. And sometimes it takes somebody marrying out of their race to give a racist a grandbaby for them to fall in love with, to change their mind. This has happened, factually. So, I will tell you one more time. No one, no matter their color, species of human, is above racism. No one. And let me break this down, and I'm going to butcher this, so be ready. Scientifically, there are 3 human species. White people are Caucasoids. Black people are Negroids. Asian people are Mongoloids. Go look that shit up. I'm pretty sure I fucked up all the names, but you can look that shit up. It used to be 5, but they dropped the 2 species by color into the Negroid and Mongoloid species of people. But technically, there's still 4, because there's people like me. I am a hybrid of the 3. I am part Negroid, Mongoloid, and Caucasoid, because I have Cherokee, black, and white within me. So, that being said, we gotta do what we gotta do, but we gotta combat racism. And again, to the teacher, unacceptable, shame on you. This is Kung Fu Havoc number 2. I am Echo Fang Grey Wolf. Be seeing you. Thanks for watching.